My friends, it is time to break the silence about those who are deserving of praise, but simply do not get enough. Spanning all types of cuisine and a little bit all over the map. These are the places that, in my sole subjective opinion, are some of the best places to eat in town. Yet, you're not going to find them on any lists because that's the point. It's underrated. These are the most underrated restaurants. Under-celebrated. They don't get the love they deserve, but they are worthy of your love. So if you're looking for some of the best food in Denver and, yay, Colorado, yet not something that's going to be on a Michelin list or have a line outside or have a forced tasting menu that'll cost $250 and take you 4 hours, this is the place for you. It's a place for us. Let's be together. You know the drill. Sam Newman, Denver real estate professional. It is my goal to be your go-to real estate resource. Hit me up if I can do anything for you, but let's talk food. All right, like I said, these run the gamut of food types, and really they're just places that I love that I've never seen on a best of list. And I'm going to tell you why I love them. Let's rock and roll. Number one is Donut House. Yes, we're starting with donuts. Who doesn't love a good donut? I do. Despite my appearance, I love sweets, and donuts are probably one of my favorite types of sweets, maybe my favorite. I'd rather have it than cake, than most candy. Donuts are delicious. In Colorado, we actually have pretty good donut options. We have Winchell's Donut House, we have Lamar's, we have Voodoo Donuts now, but let's be honest, it's not ours. It's like Portland's. And Voodoo is a fun place to visit. You know, they got the crazy monster-themed donuts or whatever, but it's not necessarily the best donut in town. I believe that the best donut in town, at least from a brick-and-mortar donut shop, is Donut House. Now, you may not have heard of Donut House because until somewhat recently, I hadn't either. But it is a local Colorado donut shop. There's 6 locations now, but I go to the OG, the one on the original location on Parker Road in Aurora. It is unassuming. It is next to a vape shop, but it is wonderful. Purely in terms of quality of donuts, this is the spot you want to go. If you're going to eat a donut, you might as well eat one that's really good because it's terrible for you. It's just a bundle of sugar and fat, and there's no redeeming health qualities. So if you're going to pull the cord and you're going to decide, I'm going to have a donut today, it should be a really, really good donut. And this is a really, really good donut. Now, you go and it's a whole display case. You have a bunch of different kinds, but they don't really focus on anything particular. They're not super gimmicky. Yeah, they have some with M&Ms on them, but it's not like bacon and Bloody Mary donut. It's kind of just your normal standard donuts, but they do it at a very, very high level. My kids love getting the Boston creams. They have a cinnamon sugar concoction that's really, really good. They have raised donuts and your old-fashioned, your cake donuts. For me, the move is the cronut. Yes, the croissant married with a donut, this beautiful concoction of science. You put these things together and it's just wonderful. It's a crossbreed and it blows my mind every time I have it. They have cronuts at a number of places, but not everywhere. But Donut House is one of the places that consistently stocks cronuts. Go get yourself one. Make yourself happy. And just as a quick addendum to point number one, since we're on donuts, there is a pop-up. So not adding it to this list as an actual number one, but a pop-up called Bonuts, okay? You can follow their Instagram account. They pop up at like breweries every Saturday. That might be the best donut I've ever had in my life. So I wouldn't call this a restaurant, but if you're really into donuts and want to check it out, it's worth checking out. Next on the list, Unichi Ristorante. And those of you who don't habla Italian, that is Unichi Restaurant, I believe. Italian place. It's amazing. Why is it underrated? Well, a few reasons. Number one, just first, I've never actually heard anybody talk about it except our friends who pointed us there in the first time. Thank you, Michelle and Brian. Number two, it's kind of in a weird spot. It's in this Inglewood location off Hampton 285. There's not a ton going on there. Close to Rosedale Platt Park, but just south of that, there's a taco place. The Swedish Hospital's right over there. It's just in kind of a random spot for a fine dining restaurant, which is what Unichi is. But as far as Italian food, elevated Italian food, it's fantastic. Really, really good food and really good service. It feels like, I don't know who runs it, but it does feel like it's run by a family. The folks that greet you, same people all the time. Ownership and hospitality is happening at a high level here. And the food is just great. I recommend the gnocchi bolognese. They do have a truffle carbonara for the wife. Wives, they just love the truffle, don't they? Anything truffle. They eat it up. And I just went recently and had the chicken piccata, which was out of this world. What I love about Unichi is that it's high quality food. It is a fine Italian experience. Like, it feels like it's appropriate for a date night. Prices are reasonable. Entrees, pastas are around $25 at this point. Not bad. Great cocktail selection. If you've been to all the normal places and you want to try something different, and you're going to feel super guilty for going out because it's not going to be the $400 or $500 dinner, Unichi. Check it out. Okay, number 3 is the Piper Inn. Now, you may have heard of Piper Inn before. It's kind of a cult favorite. Like, the people who know really know. It is a bar and grill vibe, also off Parker Road, actually dangerously close to Donut House. You could do a bang bang if you're really feeling it. Again, kind of off on its own island there, just in a weird spot, but it's great. It's just this old roadhouse vibe. Great place to get a beer and some greasy food. The food is really good. So a few different things going on. Number 1, they lay claim to the best wings in Denver. I don't know who I'd say has the best wings in Denver. Piper Inns are good. They're good. Bordering on great. I don't know that I'd say they blow my mind, but they're very good. They also have a Cantonese menu. I know, out of left field. And usually I say, avoid the restaurant that tries to do everything. You should just want to do one thing really well. Well, Piper Inn actually does a few things very well. And somebody who is a cook or chef there has a Cantonese background, so they do some tremendous dishes. Fried rice, egg foo young. It's worth a try. So wings, Cantonese, a lot of people love the Piper Inn. For me, though, it's about the loaded fries. Simple concept. Fries on a plate, bunch of other stuff piled on top of that. It's like a nacho, but better, because French fries are better than chips. But something about the way they do it is borderline mind-blowing, and I mean it. So their flagship is the carne asada fries, which are amazing. They do a challenge, Mount Carne challenge, where you have to finish a huge plate of it in so long, otherwise you'll have to pay for it or something. Fries, carne asada, beer cheese, I mean, come on. But my favorite is called the golden fries. So this is a loaded fry, but it's topped with like a kind of a half golden barbecue, half buffalo sauce. They called it a golden goat sauce. It is really addicting. I got this along with the carne asada fries as an appetizer to what was coming next, but I basically filled up on the fries because they were so good. In between the carne asada and the golden fries, I kept going back to the golden fries. Legitimately couldn't stop myself. It was a little unnerving. So if you got an like early afternoon, a late lunch where you don't have anything to do, you can sneak out and grab a beer or two and just have some loaded fries and wings and maybe fried rice if you want to. Piper Inn. Trust me. All right, we got 2 more on the list, and the last one of these, probably not something you're going to expect. I'm excited for that one. But first, number 4 on the list, cherry tomato. If you've watched this channel before, you've heard me talk about cherry tomato before. I lived in North Park Hill for a long time. Cherry tomato is there. It's one of the, I really believe, one of the most underrated restaurants in Denver. There's not a ton actually in Park Hill. There's a few different restaurants, but there's not a ton. Cherry tomato is fantastic if you're in or near the neighborhood, and it's even worth a little bit of a trip. It is another Italian place, but it's no frills Italian. Straight to the point, walk in, smelling like garlic, open kitchen. They're not trying to be anything fancy, but it's good. It's a home style Italian place. Great things about the cherry tomato. Number 1, big pours. Big pours. Wine and cocktails. If you order a scotch on the rocks, the pour is nice. Trust me, that's worth something. Okay, that means something in this world, to me at least. Number 2, the food is very good. Carbonara is my go-to. The carbonara, cherry tomato, there's something about it. It's just delicious. Again, they're not trying to be anything fancy. I've had people turn up their noses at cherry tomato, which I find personally offensive. And they'll say, oh, you don't really know about Italian food. Well, you, my friend, don't know how to have a good time. Because every time I go to the cherry tomato, I have a nice time. Let's drop the pretentiousness for a moment, if we may, and let's just enjoy ourselves. There's a time and a place for tavernetta, okay? There is. Have the little dish and put the little leaves on top of it for whatever reason. And then there is a time and place for the cherry tomato. It's charming. It's warm. It is a warm, charming restaurant. And last but certainly not least on this list, if you know me personally, many of you do at this point, chances are you've heard me talk about this place before. It is the least frills of anything we've talked about. It is a drive-through. It's actually only a drive-through. You can't go in and eat inside. You can drive through, then you can eat in your car or sit at one of the picnic tables. It is my beloved Good Times. Good Times burgers and custard. It's difficult for me to get through all the good things I have to say about Good Times. So first of all, there's a chance if you live in Colorado, you've seen Good Times, you've driven past it. They have many locations about the metro, and you've never gone. Because for me, that's how it was for a while. I drove past Good Times with just dismissiveness to me. It was almost like I was driving past a Long John Silver's. It's like, hey, there's a fast food restaurant, which is what it is, that I'm familiar with, that I've seen before, but I'm not going to eat there. I would never. Why would I? Why would you eat at Long John Silver's? And I maintain, I don't know why you would. However, when I was finally turned on to Good Times, my paradigm shifted completely. So this is a Colorado company. It is a Colorado-based fast food restaurant, which is good, but that's not a reason to eat somewhere on its own. The burgers are fantastic. To me, best fast food burger in town. I know, hot take, but really, the Good Times double. You go there and get the double. Don't mess around with anything else. Get the chili cheese fries, which they have, which is awesome. Chili cheese fries and the Good Times double. It comes in the foil wrap. It is juicy. It is drippy. And it is delicious. Allison Reedy, a local food writer, Denver Post and others, wrote one of the most beautiful odes to a restaurant that I've ever seen about Good Times. Basically just talking about how delicious the food is. It is unquestionably delicious. And then how, we got Shake Shack and we got In-N-Out recently here in Colorado, and everybody's excited about those. And I like both those places, but we're looking at the shiny object, the Shake Shack and In-N-Out, and we're not giving enough love to the one beautiful, loyal, fast food burger place that we've had this whole time, Good Times. And honestly, I'd put their burger up with either of those other places. The Good Times double, it's amazing. And they use natural ingredients. They've been doing this forever. So they use natural beef and chicken and all this other stuff since, as they say, before it was cool. They were doing it when nobody else was doing it. They just did it because they thought it was a good idea, I guess. I don't know. Their beef comes from Meyer Ranch in Loveland, not from some faceless, nameless, pink sludge factory. Their chicken comes from Springer Mountain Farms. I looked it up. That's in Georgia. Who cares? The point is, you want a greasy fast food burger. There is a time and a place for that. But you go to one of the other places, especially one of the national chains, McDonald's, Wendy's, something like that, you get that craving satisfied, but then you feel like trash afterwards. And I'm not saying that after I house a Good Times double and chili cheese fries that I feel amazing, but at least I don't feel like I injected myself with poison, which is what a Big Mac is, even though it's honestly delicious. But I feel like I ate food. I ate a highly caloric, a treat when it comes to food, but it's real, actual food. This is what I love about Good Times. As a bonus, they have breakfast burritos in the morning, which are actually pretty good. They are better than Santiago's. I will put it up against Santiago's any day of the week. It's just, when you talk about underrated, when you talk about underappreciated, I believe that Good Times is one of our finest culinary institutions, and I mean that with every element of my being. If you like a greasy burger and you haven't been, give it a try. Go through the drive-thru. You will not be disappointed. If you would like to see more of my food takes, rambles about food, I will post another video of that right here. Otherwise, I love you. Thank you for watching. See you soon.